lagging. I don't know why.
Let me
1 second.
let me shout out the YouTube real quick. YouTube, we are live here. We're going to be doing a live with Will, Crypto Insight UK, the big man himself. We're going to do a quick live stream here, but we will reposting this. So if you are watching this after this live stream has concluded, make sure you go check out. I'm going to post the TikTok live so you'll be able to see our beautiful faces. And we're going to just have a quick conversation here with Will. If you haven't already followed him on TikTok and YouTube, definitely got to go check him out. And we have some gifts from the Crypto Network. Crypto Network's in the house.
How are you, Zach? So how are things? I don't know if it's a good question to ask right now, but how are things being a proud dad?
Oh man, it's a whole new world. It's exciting. We're having a lot of fun, man. It definitely has gotten me to take a step back. And get my shit together, to be quite frank with you. You know, that kind of makes it real. Like, we got to keep our act together. And no, I'm super excited, man. I'm super excited. This is going to be a massive year. The baby's doing really well. The mother's, my girlfriend Farah's doing fantastic. So I'm just feeling super blessed right now. Everything's gone super smooth. And I'm just really like focused and locked in for this year. I think it's going to be a big year.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. Really proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. It's good, man. Thank you for the shades, Monkey. Appreciate that. So let's get into it then, Zach. So actually, just before I get into it, do you have any plans to go to Bitcoin 2022 in Miami?
I may go this year. I may go this year. There's a conference that's going on right now, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah, the North American Bitcoin Conference. You know me, I'm not a big Bitcoin fan, but I may go. Yeah, it's something I'm considering, is going to a couple conferences or events this year. Thinking of like maybe trying to put on our own event with some other influencers as well this year. If you come to the States, we'll definitely throw down a big event. Let me know when you're coming through.
I think me and Leo, Crypto with
Yeah,
Leo.
bring Leo.
We're both looking to go to, and River Crypto. We're all looking to go to Bitcoin 2022, I think, but it's not set in stone yet. We're just looking into it. So.
What's the dates on that?
It's in April. I think it's in April some point.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be very busy in my other business too. I have my landscape business, right? So we get really ramped up in the spring, super busy, but I'd love to get out there for that. That'd be fun, especially to meet you guys.
Yeah, 100%. I'd enjoy that. Give me 1 second. Someone keeps ringing me. Let me just message them on WhatsApp web and tell them I'm just on a live.
No worries. I got the baby crying in the background, so.
So right, should we dive into some XRP?
Yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
Okay, so what do you think to the most recent lawsuit updates in regards to, first off, the income review documents that came out, and then the judge's discussion about William Hinman, saying that William Hinman's speech was his own personal opinion, but then obviously given access to Ripple to be able to look through the emails, like the correspondence before that. What do you think to that?
Well, I think it's a massive victory for Ripple in their defense. The comment that I keep getting from a lot of people is that it's going to be heavily redacted, it's going to be blacked out, we're not going to be able to see it. And what I'm trying to remind people is it doesn't matter if we get to see it, although I would love for it all to be exposed, all of our government corruption. But the important thing is that the judge gets to see it. And the judge is the one that's going to decide this case, right? And so even though it's going to be blacked out, redacted, we don't get to see it, that it's going to be a massive win for Ripple's defense. And then in regards to the case getting the discovery phase getting pushed out a month, it's unfortunate. It kind of just pushes back the timeline 1 month. And the bottom line is either we're going to get a settlement, out of the blue settlement, and we're all just going to be having a good old time and cheers to victory, or it's going to be pushed out and it's going to be springtime before this thing wraps up, maybe spring, summer. The bottom line, though, that people need to remember is that this case is like 99% chance going to wrap up this year. So whether that's in a month with a settlement, whether that's early spring, whether they drag it out till the end of 2022, this thing will wrap up in a year. And I think that there's a pretty good consensus that Ripple's case is very strong and that they will win. One more thing I want to add is there was a point made recently about Ripple putting XRP on the exchanges in the early days as as Ripple, and that might be an issue. But we need to remember that that's not going to change the facts surrounding XRP. That's going to be an issue for Ripple. That's going to be a slap on the wrist fine for Ripple. That does not change the facts and circumstances about current day XRP. So even if they do hit Ripple with, hey, you misled investors in the beginning because you put it on exchanges as Ripple, they're going to get hit with a fine. And Ripple's fine with that. Ripple can afford a $10 million slap on the wrist fine. As long as they get clarity for XRP, they win and we win. And that's coming. Whether it's in a month, whether it's in a year, for me, it's a guaranteed victory. And nothing in life is a guarantee, but when you look at the facts that are presented, to me, it's a clear victory. For clarity for XRP. Will Ripple get fined? Maybe. Will Brad and Chris get fined? Maybe. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I'm on a similar page to you with that. I've seen, I think there's been a lot of different bits of FUD being thrown around. The Ripple thing, that's not new information, but a lot of people thought that was new information, didn't they, recently? And I don't really understand what their thought process is on that, because if the SEC did go after that as a point, which I don't think they even will, but if they did, on that same premise, you can say, well, it isn't actually listed as Ripple anymore, like you're saying. It's actually listed as XRP, so you can only really go after the sales of Ripple or XRP when it was listed as Ripple, and that's previous, and that's basically what we're trying to say now is, okay, well, if there were funds raised in a way that you might consider a security, they aren't raised in that way anymore. And I think that's one of the things that I really want to discuss and get to the bottom of with John Deaton when he comes on. It's just be like, and really get his take on why the SEC have done what they've done, because I know that for us, and for me especially, I don't have any legal experience, so I'm really unsure as to how this case is even continuing at this point, being where it is, because I feel like it's quite clear to say that it isn't a security at this time. I don't think that I don't feel like I've been selling a security. I don't feel like I've been owning any part of Ripple. And if it is a security, like they're saying, then why are they suing Ripple about it? Because the only thing it would ever be a security of is the XRP ledger, which Ripple don't own. So they should be suing the XRP ledger, not Ripple. So on that basis, it doesn't make any sense to me.
100%. I mean, the fact that you can use the currency XRP to buy Ripple shares on the Link2 platform really just showcases our exact point right there. One narrative that I'm seeing, and before I say, huge shout out to John Deaton, man. He's fighting the good fight for the people, not only XRP holders, but for America, because our country is lagging behind 100% with the rest of the world. And so this is massive, not just for XRP holders, but for American crypto innovation. So huge shout out to John Deaton, and I'm so excited to check out that interview that you're going to be having. One of the main narratives of people right now, and I get where they're coming from, is they're getting impatient, and they have this idea of, okay, XRP's stalled out right now, I'm going to chase other opportunities. And I get that. The problem is, when I started making TikToks in February, I was saying your time is running out. And it wasn't me trying to get people to FOMO into XRP. It's a matter of the average person doesn't have more than a couple $1,000 to invest. So when they go to accumulate a bag and the price was at 40 cents in February, and then here we are, now we're only at 70 cents or 80 cents, you're still only getting half a big as bag as you would be if we just are at this price of 80 cents. So I'm not saying that everyone should just FOMO in right now. What I'm saying is you need to really consider how much you're going to be able to accumulate over the next year. And whatever that allocation is proper for you, that's your own investment decision. But that's my whole argument with, don't just wait until, oh, I'm going to wait till a settlement's announced and then I'm going to be able to pack my bags. No, you're not. No, you're not. The fact of the matter is it could get shut off from non-accredited investors in the United States. We don't know about that potential. And the other fact of the matter is most people don't have 10 grand to load up on a fat bag, right? They're only going to be able to throw $500 at it. And so I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just saying, look at the facts and circumstances of this case. We know that we know that XRP is going to have clarity within the next year. After that, utility starts and ramps up, and we know where this coin is going over the next 5 to 10 years, and it's not going to be at $1. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I say the same sort of thing to my friends and family at the minute. Like, in this market, especially where we are right now, in terms of like sentiment, market cycles, like extended cycles, all I say to them is when they say to me, is it a good time to buy? And I obviously don't give financial advice as well. I just say, is the risk to reward there? Is the risk to reward ratio there? Where do we think this can top out? Has that changed? All the answers to that question, all the answers to those questions are, there's been no change for me. So in terms of change, and people come through with silly narratives like, oh, it's never going to get higher than $1 before the end of the lawsuit. And it's like, well, it's already hit $1.94 and we've set higher highs with everything else, so why wouldn't it follow suit? And if you're using technical analysis specifically, we use previous price action to predict the prices of the futures for these cryptocurrencies. So if Bitcoin has nearly reached out to a full 4.236 extension, so is Ethereum. Why would XRP not be able to follow suit just because we're under a different narrative with the SEC? And if you use both those narratives, and you look at, like I was saying, a potential percentage risk to reward ratio, you're onto a winner with XRP. We also know that in previous cycles it's moved last and fast, and people say, okay, it's suppressed because of the lawsuit. I think that the lawsuit could be a catalyst and maybe a reason for some uncertainty in the market, of course. I don't think it's completely suppressed because of that, because on that narrative, why haven't we seen extensions from like Litecoin, XLM, and a lot of other different cryptos? But XLM's one specifically that I draw on because it hasn't really...
We'll cut out for a second. Where is Will? Is he coming back? He must have got a phone call. Thank you for coming in, YouTube, TikTok. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for tapping the screen, sharing the stream, hitting the like button, hitting that notification bell so you know when we're going live. Appreciate all of the gifts, all of the super chats. Thank you for coming in today. And we lost Will. Okay, let's wait for Will to join us back in. Guys, thank you for coming in. Okay, having a great conversation with Will. If you haven't already followed him on YouTube and TikTok, make sure you check him out. He's going to be interviewing John Deaton, so that's a massive, massive interview for Will. Shout out to him. Great job. Going to be tuning into that interview for sure. What else are we working with, guys? So tomorrow we have the congressional hearing where they're going to be talking about Bitcoin mining, the waste of energy that is the Bitcoin network. That's going to be fascinating. Big day tomorrow. One other thing, we are going to be having a conversation about, let me be careful about how I say this because I don't want to get in trouble. We're going to be talking about 5G. 5G. In my Discord tomorrow. We actually have someone, he's, can't say too much on him, but basically he's a vice president of a company, telecommunications technology company. He's going to be talking about 5G tomorrow in our Discord. Will says he's coming back in 2 seconds. Okay. He said his phone just died. But if you guys are wondering why we have a Discord, it is for this exact reason, so that we can go have conversations, deep dives on stuff that we can't talk about on YouTube or TikTok. So if you guys want to join, sign up for the Patreon, link down in the description in my bio, and we will send you the link to the Discord. But we're going to be talking about 5G tomorrow. We got basically insider access to someone. This is what their company actually does. So we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, the ugly. Are our fears and concerns legitimate? Or is it overhyped and nothing to worry about? We're going to get into that tomorrow. So I'm super excited. We have Glenn. First super chat of the day. Glenn Miller. Shout out. Real glad I found this channel. Thanks for the great upload, Zach. Glenn, I appreciate that, man. Really appreciate your support. It means a lot. Okay, we're gonna keep hitting it hard on YouTube and TikTok. Super excited about this year. Gonna be hitting it real hard. We have another super chat. That's GT Foxbod 89. That's our boy Chad, one of my Discord moderators. Huge shout out to Chad. Thank you for that 5-spot, brother, and thank you for everything that you do, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let's see if Will's ready to come back in. Will I ride the solo dip tomorrow? Let's talk about that. Let me write that down. Hopefully Will can join us and we will talk about solo. That's right. Solo airdrop coming in tomorrow. Let's rapid fire Q&A until Will gets back with us. But yeah, super excited for tomorrow. This is going to be a massive week for us. Massive week in the cryptocurrency space. Many other events taking place around the world. One of my predictions for this year was that they were going to start to lift restrictions, but in turn, they were about to pull the rug on our economy and we're going to have some serious economic turbulence. That is underway. If you guys saw, Europe just announced lifting restrictions. Boris Johnson just announced lifting restrictions. But as I predicted, be ready for them to come in. The Fed's saying that they're going to end tapering, raise interest rates. We already know crypto regulations are around the corner. That is going to be the trade-off for regaining our freedoms. So that prediction is playing out right now. I want you guys to be prepared for that. Sologenic, yes, we'll talk about that with Will. XRP Ledger projects, we're trying to vet out as many XRP Ledger projects as we can, or at least the ones that make it past our initial test. So that's going to be interesting. We have NFTs coming to the XRP Ledger as well. We're going to be vetting out those NFT projects. Don't want you guys to get Evolved Apes rug pull like we called out Joshua Jake on yesterday. We don't want to have a $2.7 million rug pull. That's never good. You love Vivi. Yeah, Vivi's cool. It's very hard to get the NFTs on Vivi, but yeah. No, that's cool. Jack Dorsey created a Bitcoin legal fund. That's interesting. Very excited to hear this congressional hearing tomorrow. The fact that regulations are coming to the forefront of the Congress here in the United States is massive. Massive for the cryptocurrency space. This is what we've been waiting on. Will's in the chat. Will, did we lose you, man? You coming back? Hop back on, brother. Top 3 must-have tokens? Well, not financial advice, but if you look at the ISO coins, I made a video on ISO coins this morning. Can I invite you again? Yes, I'll invite you, Will. I will invite you. Start up your live, Will, and then I'll invite you. Yeah, so I made a video this morning on ISO coins explaining why we think that there's a real opportunity there. It does get overhyped. A lot of people just throw it out there. Oh, Algorand's an ISO coin. It's the best thing ever. They do get overhyped, but I explain why it matters in my video that I dropped today called ISO Coins Explained on my YouTube. I also posted one on TikTok. Crow. Yeah, Crow's solid. Crypto Mason says H-bar is an XRP killer. That's funny. That's just funny. The fact is, H-bar is better technology than blockchain technology. However, the partnerships that Ripple has don't even compare to what H-bar has going for it. Hedera is great tech. They do have legitimate partnerships in adoption. I'm bullish on H-bar. I mean, it's a solid project. The centralization doesn't concern me at all. But yeah, what's up, Rich? Good to see you, man. Okay, let's see if we get Will.
Hello.
What's up, brother?
Sorry, my phone died. I don't even know why, because it wasn't even low on battery. It's just one of those things, a new phone, I think.
TikTok shutting us down again.
Yeah, and then I came back onto TikTok, and as I opened my app, I got a message pop up saying somebody's worried about me and that I should contact support if I need help.
TikTok be bugging out these days, man. It's crazy.
So that was really strange. So anyway, sorry, where were we? Where did we get to?
Okay, so yeah, I wanted to talk. People are asking about Sologenic, the XRP Ledger NFTs, and the other coins that are coming to it. So we all know we have the Solo airdrop tomorrow. Let's talk about how we're both gonna play that. I was listening to you talk about it in your live before we joined, but why don't you go first?
Yeah, sure. Well, as people know who follow me, I actually allocated like 7% of my XRP portfolio. Big mistake, obviously looking back in hindsight, to Sologenic at around $4.
No, I want to say
So
mad respect, bro. Mad respect because I shared that with my Discord and I said most influencers, creators would not admit making a mistake like that. And so mad respect to you for that. But yeah, sorry. Continue.
yeah, I think it's important to share that because like we are all human. Everyone makes mistakes. So um, what I've learned from that is even if I'm set on something, if I'm trying to hodl a bag, which I've been doing for a long time, I think maybe some boredom and emotion played on my mind as well. So it happens to all of us. But anyway, so I've only got I nearly told you how much I've got then. But my bags. What I'm going to do is I will buy solo if we see a big dump tomorrow. I will buy some more solo, maybe one or 2% of my XRP bag if we see a dump tomorrow. For a reason that I think even now I think is massively undervalued. I think we had the dump based on some FUD. Basically, people thought that Sologenic was moving off the XRP ledger. In my opinion, that's one of the reasons it dumped, which it clearly isn't. We've got Quorum coming out, which I think could be a good project. Obviously, massively speculative because we don't really know too much about it apart from what they've told us. But then we've obviously got the NFT platform that you're talking about coming out. That's the 27th, I think, and where 3 solos had to be burned per NFT, so it makes the Sologenic asset massively deflationary. And 15,000 are being launched on launch day. So we're probably looking, that's like 45,000 Sologenic burned just on the day of launch. So I think if we do see a spike down, for me personally, I'll probably use that as an opportunity to increase my bags, keep holding throughout the Quorum snapshots for a little bit, and then maybe look to sell if we do have a bit of a pump. If I could flip that, then I will sell it and try and gain some XRP back. If not, it is what it is. I'll take my chance, but I'm going to be way less exposed, but I do still want to have a chance of potentially making a swing trade here. But what about you?
Yeah, man. I basically played it similar. I got lucky because I moved over not as much of my bag as you did, but I only did 1,000 XRP that I moved to Sologenic between $2 and $3. I did 2 buys, and it was only 1,000 XRP total. And then I ended up selling all of it at about 550. So I was able to make a couple thousand XRP off that move. And I didn't hold any Sologenic for the snapshot. I only held my XRP. Now, I've been telling my Discord member, my communities, that I'm kind of playing it the same way as you. Well, maybe a little bit different. With this airdrop, I'm expecting a dump, right? And what I'm going to be doing is probably offloading my bag that I get. Like, as soon as I get it, I'm probably going to dump it too. But then I'm going to look to re-enter on that dip. So you know, the price will probably already start dumping, and I hate to kind of join the party, but I'm gonna offload, probably offload it, and then I'm gonna look to re-enter on that dump. I'm gonna watch what it does, and even if I don't time the bottom, I'll be able to increase my bag, and then with that solo, I'm excited for the utility that's coming to Sologenic, man. I definitely think that the NFT marketplace that's coming to Sologenic is going to be awesome. The decentralized exchange that they have built on top of the XRP ledger, that's awesome. So I am excited about Sologenic. I think it will have a good year and it has a good future. But that's kind of just how I'm playing it. You know, I'm going to try to catch that dump, try to up my bag, and maybe even add to it more, and then look to flip it. And I've done this twice now. I just did it with Reaper. So after I interviewed the CEO of Reaper Financial and I vetted out the project, I was like, okay, this is legit. I like this. So I did the same thing. I moved 1,000 XRP over to Reaper. Reaper was at 9 cents. And then, I don't know if you saw it, just pumped to like 30 cents. And so then I was able to make another couple thousand XRP doing that. So now I'm out of Reaper again. I don't hold any Sologenic. Going to be receiving it for the airdrop, but these have been decent plays, and at this point, I'm just watching these XRP Ledger tokens. I'm not participating in the airdrops like these little meme coins that are doing free airdrops. I'm not really participating in any of that, but I'm going to be looking at all of these coins that are on the XRP Ledger and these NFT projects. I'm going to be trying to vet these out for our community.
Yeah, you need to have a look at ours, bro. We're creating a project. I told you about it.
Yes, let's talk about that. Yeah, maybe not here, but yeah, later on, let's talk about that. I don't know if you want to say anything about it here. If you want to, you can.
Oh no, I don't want to pump it because I feel like a lot of people come on and just try and pump their projects or whatever. The only thing I will say about it is if anyone's interested in the project, just to check out my white paper. I'm never going to tell anyone to go and buy anything. Just check out the white paper that's in the Discord in my channel. So that's all I want to say about that, to be honest. But we're not in a stage where I'm ready to launch. We've just written the white paper, so I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't like promises until everything's ready.
Yeah, no, totally legit. And I want to clarify too for everyone. I was fully transparent about my my strategy with Sologenic, and then I was really transparent about Reaper. I told my Discord group, hey, I'm interviewing him. Take a look at this coin. It's not really well known. I don't hold any of it now. I'm going to interview him. And then after the interview, I was like, okay, I like this. And then I was clear with them. I was like, if this thing starts to go up, I'm going to pull my initial investment out. And then it tripled in price to 30 cents. So I just completely exited. But I'm not going to be doing any pump and dumps. I'm not going to be doing any promotions, like reaching out to these projects like, hey, what can you give me? And I'll pump this. That's not what I'm going to be doing. So just to be clear, no promotions. I just want to vet these projects for the XRP community so that the XRP community is not going into these BS projects, getting scammed or rug pulled.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best thing. That's the best thing about it as well. And that's the hardest thing I think that I've found, like as a creator, trying to do this, because I don't want to come across as someone who does that. So that's why I say to people to read my white paper. It's also hard for me though because I don't have a developer experience, and that's where you have to put a lot of trust into somebody to write. Like we want smart contracts we want some kind of smart contracts. I know that's not really available yet on the XRP ledger. Like in terms of what we want to do, we want to stake. We want it to be able to be staked. So it's a bit up in the air because I don't have back end experience.
For sure.
So it's always a hard thing to do.
Yeah. So you got a team, you got a developer working with you, or what?
I spoke to Quincy Jones, who said that if I do get someone to write it, then he'll look over it and make sure nothing really.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome.
But, cool.
I hope Quincy's doing well.
Yeah. So, come on then, Zach. Hit me up. What's going to happen with these new regulations coming out in the US? And we've got a meeting tomorrow about energy and Bitcoin mining. But what more that I'm focused on is what do we think is going to happen with like Bitcoin, stablecoin CBDC legislation from Jerome Powell. What's your take on that quickly?
Yeah, for sure. So I do think that this could be a catalyst that pushes the market up, just like short term, not financial advice, but look out. When this hits, the news and everyone's kind of got it fresh, top of mind, just look for a pump. Unless the whales manipulators, they always can take advantage of this and just dump on us. But barring that happening, I would expect this could maybe be a catalyst because, especially with the Bitcoin folks, if we have our politicians like Elizabeth Warren and all of them out there talking about banning Bitcoin, when the crypto community hears our politicians tell them that they can't own something, they're going to go buy more of it. So just be ready for a pump. Even if the hearing is like bad or negative towards crypto Bitcoin, that's going to push our community to actually go buy more crypto. So one sec, got a quick phone call. Okay, yeah. So be ready for that.
No, I think you're great.
However, whether they are legitimate or not, which, I'm not going to, I don't believe Elizabeth Warren when she tells me that she's concerned about Bitcoin mining and Ethereum gas fees. I don't really think that she cares about the little person who's having to pay gas fees. But whether or not their agenda is for real or not, it's what they're pushing. And what I'm looking for is the potential for them to try to push Bitcoin mining um, all renewable. I'm looking for them to say, hey, or tax it, or tax it. I'm looking for them to either tax it or push them to all renewable. And they might not be able to do it on a national level. The United States is different, but it could be on a state by state basis. So, like, I live in a more liberal state, Washington State, where they might just completely ban Bitcoin mining. Or New York State, which is another very strict state, where they could just say, hey, we're only going to allow Bitcoin mining that's done with renewable energy. Something like that. And then I'm also looking for them to tax it too, which long term would be bullish. What's up?
Sorry, is that all proof of work tokens or just Bitcoin specifically, do you think?
Just proof of work, I think. And maybe Bitcoin might be the only one that they go after initially. I don't know. It takes our Congress 5 years to get something done. So who knows? But I will say it's very, very good for the cryptocurrency space that regulations are finally being talked about, pushed, and we have legislation hitting the United States Congress, because this is holding up basically the whole world, because the United States matters just on that global macroeconomic level.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, well, you talk about equities markets and that you're like 52% of global equities. So, like, whatever happens there is huge for like repercussions for the rest of the world. And a lot of people set legislation on what the US do. But I think it's just really an interesting time. Like, I don't know if you saw, but we in the UK yesterday released some new laws around advertisement of cryptocurrency, which I think is good. I think that we basically said that anyone who's not registered with the FCA, which is basically like, you have a few different agencies that do it, but it's basically our financial standards agency, that if they're not already registered with them, they can't release crypto adverts. They've got about a 6-month grace period, and they just got to abide by the same rules that like stocks and shares do, which I think that's good for the space. And it came out as a massive negative, and I think actually that's a positive thing, because it means the regulations are going to be coming and people actually have guidelines to stay inside of, and that's exactly, it's going to give people confidence in the space long term.
Yeah, it's interesting, and like, the UK is way ahead of our country. The UK is doing pretty good, and like you said, it's kind of initially taken as bull or bearish and kind of negative, but long term, this is what we have to get through. We have to get through regulations, and it could bring on a bear market. I've talked about this being a catalyst for a bear market this year. For me, the main 3 reasons why I am feeling like we could go bearish this year is because the 2 things that our Fed is going to do, which is end tapering, so they're going to stop the pump, and then they're saying that they're going to raise our interest rates 3 or 4 times this year, which will essentially pop our debt bubble. And then the third catalyst is cryptocurrency regulations, which is long-term bullish, what we need for the space, but in the short term, could be a day of reckoning for some cryptos. And proof of work, I think, could get attacked here for sure. I don't like the idea of them banning it. I've said this before. I don't like the idea of that. As an American, I'm all about freedom, right? If you're doing something that doesn't harm anybody else, you should have the freedom to do that. However, they're really pushing this green agenda, this Green New Deal here in America. And so we have to recognize that. And then you got a state-by-state basis here in America that also is an added layer of regulation and burden on investors and companies. So, like I said, Washington State could just ban proof of work mining. Another thing that they're trying to do, we don't have a state income tax in Washington State, but our governor is trying to introduce a capital gains tax. So on our cryptocurrencies investments, it's like a 8.7, nearly 9% capital gains tax, which has me ready to move states, because I'm like, I don't want to give this guy another 9% on capital gains tax.
Your current capital gains is 8.7%.
That's the proposal. It's currently 0. We have no.
It's 0.
Yeah, we have no state income tax. We only pay federal income tax in Washington state. States like California has a 13% state income tax. So you could pay 20 or 30% at the federal level and then another 13% to Governor Newsom and the clowns running California, which, yeah, it's a serious issue. And not to get too deep on the politics of it, but it's in our state constitution here in Washington to not have an income tax. So that's why they're fighting our governor trying to implement this capital gains tax, because it's a form of income tax. But yeah, man, he's trying to nail us for nearly 9% capital gains tax.
And what's the federal tax at the minute?
It depends on your income. So we have different tax brackets, anywhere from like no tax all the way up to like 30%, I believe.
Yeah, our top tax I think is 20% for capital gains, but if it's on like a salary, then it can be all the way up to like 50% on anything over a certain amount, or 45%. So it can be quite a lot.
Yeah.
Right. So just to wrap this up, haven't got long. I would like your opinion on what you think is going to happen this year, and this is going to be a bit speculative. I don't mean in price action. I mean, what do you think will happen this year financially? Do you think we will? I'll quickly just want to touch back actually on what you were saying about your interest rate hikes, because I saw the proposal for 4 hikes in 2022 at 0.25%, if I'm right, and tapering ending in like March sort of time. But then I was listening to what Raoul Powell said in response to that, and he thinks that when's your election? Sorry, when is it?
November.
He thinks they'll get 1, maybe 2 hikes in before that, and then he thinks that you have to stimulate once more before election. And I don't really know too much about that, and I don't really know why that would be the case. Do you know more about that than me?
Well, it's about political power shifting. I've heard some theories about which I don't like to get left, right, Democrat, Republican. For me, it's about what are they doing and how's this going to impact me? You know, I don't like to get political. It's just a matter of what are they trying to do that's actually going to affect us here on Main Street America. Are they going to increase our taxes? Are they going to increase regulations? Are they going to make it more of a free market for businesses? Or are they going to restrict us? So that's what that's about. I could see where he's probably saying that they're only going to do 1 or 2 because they don't want to really hit our economy too hard before the elections. So that would make sense as to why they would only do 1 or 2. So that's where he's probably coming with on that prediction. But
yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say he basically said that oftentimes that when they talk about inflation rate hikes, it does start to interest rate hikes. When they talk about interest rate hikes, it does start to taper inflation just from the actual verbiage of what they're saying, because then people start to price in the fact that it could happen in the future, basically. And then often they don't always follow through because it's quite a steep increase. He's basically saying, and we've got obviously issue that we get another variant that comes out. Then I mean us as allies would have to probably stimulate similarly, like we had furlough for people who didn't go to work, and I know that you guys stimulated directly to homeowners or people who owned addresses, didn't you? So
yeah. So basically, those are the only 2 ways that we really would catch another pump, in my opinion, is if the Fed reversed what they're telling us they're going to do. Which I will say this is the problem with America. We can't trust what our politicians say, and we can't trust what the Federal Reserve says. But it impacts us so much what the Federal Reserve does, right? Which we're a laughing stock of the whole world right now. But what we have to do is we have to take them at their word and kind of expect them to do something close to what they're telling us they're going to do. Which, if they go through with that, they're ending the pump, and then they're going to raise interest rates, which pops the debt bubble. Those are 2 bad things for our economy. If they reverse that, and we got another stimulus, like you're talking about, if they were able to do another stimulus, and if the Fed reverses course, then I would see kind of the super cycle prediction actually come through. I don't think that we're going to get that though, because what I'm looking at is right now. I was expecting Bitcoin to top out in December, and then for the altcoins to be running up in through December into January. That has not happened, right? They dumped the market on us on December 4th, one of the biggest liquidation events in crypto history, and they basically pulled the rug on all of us who were expecting December, January to kind of be the end of the bull run, right? So where we're at right now, I think one of the main holdups for an alt season is the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. I think if Ripple was to settle up with the SEC, that would spur an alt season. Bitcoin would probably go up too. I think that the initial reaction would be a pump for the market. But if that doesn't happen, we have to look at the situation we're in. They're trying to the variant, like you said, is spreading, and then the Fed is ending the pump in March. So they're going to end tapering in March. That means they're going to stop pumping it up. And then they're going to raise interest rates. They're telling us the first interest rate hike will come shortly after they end tapering. So that would be March, April, like springtime. So that would really get things underway. And then when you add in the third factor, cryptocurrency regulations, whenever they get that done this year, I think that could be another catalyst that would kind of spur on an initial bear market or pullback for the space.
Yeah.
So that's my prediction for 2022 and why I kind of feel like a bear market's coming on.
Yeah, I like the thought process. I personally think that we will see XRP pump before that, just on the basis that if people try and say that this cycle isn't different to the two previous cycles, then we have seen that before. And if you're saying it is different, then I actually think Bitcoin runs longer. Like, I don't know if 69k was the top. If you're trying to say it's different, and if you're saying it's not different, then XRP should pump anyway. It's my logic. But on both occasions, nothing goes down the straight line unless we get something catastrophic or black swan. But no one can predict that, so we'll just rule that out as an option almost. We should see a retracement rally for Bitcoin, at least. Well, I use Fibonacci retracements and I like blockchain backers analysis, so up towards the 702 Fibonacci retracement, but at least over 60 odd thousand, or up and around the $60,000 mark for Bitcoin, and in that time we should see XRP move, even if Bitcoin's not going to set a higher high. So in my world, I personally do think it marries up quite well in timings with a Ripple potential lawsuit settlement, because if we now finish expert discovery at the end of February, and then there's a massive threat to the SEC in terms of a fair notice defense for Ripple, which neither side, well, especially the SEC, aren't going to want, then I think that we could see a settlement before that date.
Yeah, and just to maybe give us a little bit more hopium, because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, right? When I talk about this, people don't like to hear it, but I think that people need to be prepared. And it's only an opportunity to accumulate more of the assets that we talk about that have utility and everything. But one thing I want to say is, if Ripple wins on fair notice defense, the rest of the crypto space has a hope and a prayer. Because if they win on that, that means that the rest of the crypto space has that same defense, that they didn't have fair notice. If they don't get that, the rest of the space should be on watch. And even regardless, anyone that did an ICO should be on watch. And I've dropped a couple videos recently, I don't know if you've seen them, but our SEC chairman is not afraid to come out and say that every ICO that he's looked at is a security. So people need to understand that. And what I'm looking at right now is, whatever you're holding, what I'm telling people to look at is, are you willing to hold that coin if we do go through a 50% bear market correction? And do you think that coin's going to make it through regulations? There are some cryptos that did ICOs that did kind of modified ones and tried to do it the right way. Algorand is an example of that. But most, like 90% of the ICOs were unregistered securities offerings, and that's just the fact. And so when you're holding a bag right now, towards what could be the end of this bull market, you need to have the understanding that your crypto could go down in 50% or more, and understand if it's going to make it through regulations, and or is the SEC going to target it. So that's what I'm telling people to look at right now when you're looking through your portfolio.
Yeah, I think that's sound advice, and everyone who's in this stream should definitely listen to that, because at some point regulation is coming, and I think it's going to sting the market more than people think it is. People looking for it in terms of massive positivity, and I think long term it will be positive, but short term I think it will sting the market. But anyway, Zach, I am going to have to wrap this up, my friend. Thank you very much for taking the time to come on live with me. It's been great to speak to you. Not spoke to you in ages. Guys, go and follow Zach over here on TikTok if you don't already. I'm sure most of you do. His content's great. And I'd just like to say, we have to hop on a call at some point personally, mate, because I'd like to catch up with you. But yeah, thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Thank you to you for this stream. Obviously, your insights are amazing as always.
Yeah, thanks, Will. Everyone go check out Will as well. And yeah, let's have that private conversation on your NFT project. I'd love to hear that. And then let's schedule another live here in the next couple weeks where we can have a longer conversation, because I know both of our audience love when we get together. So let's do that.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that we could definitely get a big discussion going in here, and maybe get some of the community's questions involved and get those discussed on a bit of a deep dive as well. I would, if you don't, obviously everyone who's joined the chat, if you don't know that I'm interviewing John Deason soon, I think that if we get some information from that, it would be quite nice to break that down with you as well. You're very knowledgeable about this sort of thing. So anyway, guys, thank you so much, and I will see you soon, Zach. Peace.
All right, thanks, Will. We'll see you, man.
Bye.
Yeah, huge shout out to Will. I'm actually, I'm going to help him pump that interview up, because that's going to be an interesting one to watch, that John Deaton interview. Will's a solid stand-up guy, putting out really solid information. So if you haven't checked him out, make sure you do. We do have the Crypto Keeper in the chat, and I was talking to Nick this morning when my baby girl woke me up at 5 a.m. About getting on a conversation with Debate Crypto. If you haven't gone and checked out his channel, make sure you guys go check out. He's the Crypto Keeper on TikTok, and their YouTube is Debate Crypto, right, Nick? Something like that. So make sure you guys check him out. And I think I'm going to go have a conversation with him maybe this week or next week. We're going to line that one up. And yeah, excited about it. We have a few other interviews kind of in the pipeline right now as well too. So very excited for all the content that we're going to be bringing you this year. Tomorrow, we're going to watch out for that congressional hearing. What are your thoughts on the congressional policy ending the Ripple versus SEC case? I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think that they're going to, well, I mean, it's potential, but I think it's going to take many more months before we get cryptocurrency regulations in America. It takes them a long time. It takes them a long time to get that figured out. I think the only worry in the lawsuit is that Judge Netburn has been corrupted. Well, so far, Judge Netburn, Judge Torres, they all seem to be pretty stand up and wanting to uphold the law, wanting to uphold the Constitution, which is what they're supposed to be doing. And so hopefully, hopefully they will hear out the facts. And the fact of the matter is that XRP is a decentralized cryptocurrency. Was Ripple's marketing practices from the very beginning shady? Not at all. It was not shady at all. Did they maybe make some mistakes? Potentially. But like I said, even if they slap Ripple on the wrist with a fine for marketing XRP as Ripple on exchanges in the early days, they're just going to slap Ripple on the wrist. It's not going to be a big deal. And it doesn't change the facts about current day XRP. Full moon incoming? Yeah, we just had the full moon. Solo airdrop tomorrow. Hope you guys are ready for that. That's going to be an interesting one to watch. Thoughts on wrapped XRP? It's awesome. Awesome to see. Just more utility for XRP, more DeFi for XRP. Love to see it being used. They're going to go after Ethereum next. Well, I made a video earlier this week where I talked about how Gary Gensler will come out in the open and he'll say, I agree with my predecessor, Jay Clayton, that every ICO is a security, but he won't come out and just give us a straight answer on Ethereum. When asked directly, is Ethereum a security or not? He said, well, I won't get into any one crypto, yada, yada, does his little dance, does the little Gary dance. He won't answer that question. So you have to ask yourself why. Why will he not address that? It should be clear. Bill Hinman gave us the speech. So yeah, the SEC's been totally caught. Totally caught. One potential that I would look at is them just going after Ethereum just to save face, just to save their reputation. But I don't think that they will go after Ethereum in any serious way. You said that XRP will pump to $10 and then drop 80%. Then what will they do? Well, here's the deal. We're expecting a pump for XRP in or around a settlement and or the case wrapping up. So whenever that happens. And then they're going to retrace it. There's going to be a major dump. But then after that, once XRP has clarity, I do believe that it will be on the path to a much higher price. And not giving you financial advice, but look at what utility it actually presents. And we just got a fat super chat from Just Saying. Massive 20 spot. Massive. I appreciate you coming in. Just Saying with the 20 spot says, hey boss, have you guys heard of Project PV XPV? It's being built on HBAR. Project PV.io. I have not heard of that, but let me write that down in my notes. Project PV XPV. It's being built on HBAR. Okay. I will definitely check that out. That's a fat super chat, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. .io. TikTok, I appreciate the gifts on TikTok as well. You guys have been throwing down in the chat today. Appreciate that. You guys are amazing. Big credit freeze coming with all the banks, BlackRock Bank, Ice 9. Yeah, man. There's some crazy scenarios. I just dropped a video on how Trump, when Trump was in office, he basically moved the Federal Reserve underneath the Treasury Department, and then he changed basically the rules as far as what the Federal Reserve can invest in. Very interesting. If you haven't checked that out, I'm just kind of doing my initial findings and research on that, but I'm going to be talking about that more and kind of putting that together. But basically the rules of the road have completely changed. And BlackRock was basically the broker, the custodian that was going to allow our Federal Reserve through the Treasury to start investing in like corporate bonds and basically securities and assets that aren't backed by the government. So to make this simple, before, in the 2008 crisis and before Trump changed this law, the Federal Reserve was only able to invest in assets and securities that were backed by the government. So that's our own bonds, right? Mortgage-backed securities, and there's a few other examples. What Trump did is he gave them permission to invest into corporate bonds and a bunch of other different assets that aren't backed by the government. And then he put the Treasury Department basically at a first lost position. Very interesting, very confusing. I'm still trying to understand it all myself, but I will put more information on that together. And so look forward to that. Yeah, very interesting. But as it stands now, we have the Federal Reserve basically saying that they're going to pull the plug on our economy. So that's going to be very interesting to see what happens this year. If they stop tapering, they raise interest rates 3 or 4 times, and we get cryptocurrency regulations, that's what's going to be bringing on a bear market, in my opinion. But like I say, I am hoping and praying that we catch a vibe, that we catch a pump over the next month or so. The main catalyst would be a Ripple versus SEC settlement. That is still a potential. 90% of cases do end in discovery. So even though we got Jeremy Hogan talking about it being extended out till April, we have a lot of FUD in the space. The facts are the facts. 90% of cases with the SEC do settle up in discovery. So we still have a 90% chance that this case is settled in a month. Not to get anyone's hopes up, it definitely can be stalled out, another year. Thoughts on XRP NFTs? Bullish, so bullish. I'm going to be trying to vet all these projects. Have I been playing around with the Sologenic decks? I have not. I actually don't like the layout of the Sologenic decks. I do everything through the XRP ledger, through the Zoom wallet or Zum wallet. I just call it the Zoom wallet, XUMM. Set up the trust lines and can swap. Basically, got an exchange right there. Love your content. I try to share your stuff from the people from my old neighborhood. XRP is a way to rebuild my community. Amen. Amen. And that's the thing I love about the XRP community is we're people that want to change the world. We want a level playing field, and we know that we have one of the best projects. We know what will happen once we have our level playing field. But the XRP community, I'm excited to see what we do. What year do you think XRP will reach 4 digits, and do you think XDC and XLM will reach 3 digits? If so, when for both? I'm not going to answer that question specifically. All I'm going to say is that the new financial system is slated to be completely rolled out by 2025. So that is the timeline. 2025, the new financial system is supposed to be completed with the rollout. Yeah. Go Cougs and go away Inslee. Yeah, Jay Inslee trying to get a 9% capital gains tax. Absolutely criminal. He needs to F off with that noise. I will be moving out of state if he tries that BS. I am not going to pay him 9% on my capital gains. No chance. It's already criminal enough what he's doing in this state. Running it into the absolute ground. Ruining the once beautiful city that was Seattle. Just running it down into the ground. It's terrible. Terrible. Hate to see it. Is it better to just hold XRP or to sell when it hits $10 and get back in? Not financial advice. Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to sell 5% of my bag, my XRP bag, if we reach $10. If we reach out over $20, I'm going to sell another 5%. I'm going to hold the rest of my bag. And I'm going to wait for the liquidity hub to open up. I'm going to wait for DeFi to come in. I'm going to stake my XRP. I'm going to take out loans against it. I'm going to hold on to 90% of my bag. However, I'm trying to catch a pump to $10, and I'm going to offload about 5% of my bag. And the main reason why I'm going to do that is because I'm trying to buy a property. I need some down payment money. So that's where that money would go towards. What will happen with Solo? Expect it to dump tomorrow, guys. Expect it to dump. I'm going to be, 100% with you guys on what my strategy is, which is I'm probably going to, I may just hold what I get, but I'm probably going to dump it. As soon as I get my Sologenic, I'm going to dump 100% of it, but then buy back in on the dump. So that's just my strategy. I don't own any Sologenic right now. I didn't own any Sologenic for the snapshot. I traded it all back to XRP when Solo was at $5.55. I made a couple thousand XRP doing that. At this moment, no Sologenic. Once I get the airdrop, probably going to offload all of it, and then I will buy back in, probably with just that portion that I received in the airdrop. However much that's worth, I'm just going to wait to buy back in on the dip. Don't even need to necessarily time the bottom, but it's just like if you know like 90% chance that we're going to have a dump, it's like might as well, sell when you get it and then buy back in. But that's not financial advice. Do I think that 3-digit XRP, XLM, XDC is possible? Definitely for XRP. XLM and XDC, it is possible. Yes, I do believe so. Yeah. I don't really talk about, like, when people ask me, is 2,000 XRP enough to be a millionaire? Is 10,000 XRP enough? I don't answer those types of questions because most people are going to get shaken out. When XRP pumps to $10 and then crashes 80%, they're going to sell their whole bag. So even if they had 100,000 XRP, it's not going to be enough because you're going to get shaken out. You know what I'm saying? So Will 10,000 XRP change your life? I do believe it will, if you hold it, if you know what you hold. But will 10,000 XRP change your life if you sell it at $10? Well, maybe 100 grand is going to change your life. It's not going to secure generational wealth though. So, yeah. XDC staking soon. Yep, that's good to see. Big fan of XDC. I was actually thinking about trying to get Quincy Jones back on. Got the XRP haters in the chat. What's up? What's up? How are you guys doing? I know XRP's trash. I know. XRP is going nowhere but zero. Yeah, it's so immature. These XRP haters, they're so immature. These XRP haters, it's really unfortunate because they're an embarrassment to the whole space. They really are. Talk about Russia leaving SWIFT. Yeah, basically, yeah. The United States and SWIFT, they're in trouble. The United States is losing the reserve currency status, and we keep on trying to play games, flexing our muscles with SWIFT and our sanctions, and it's backfiring. But you have to go look at what they are accumulating. So Russia, China are accumulating record amounts of gold. Another thing to consider, I think that it was King Solomon that brought up the fact that XRP was piloted in Russia, or I forget what it was. I gotta look that up. I'm gonna write that down in my notes before I just speak offhand. I know that King Solomon talked about a XRP or Ripple connection in Russia, so look out for that. But that's the whole use case and utility of XRP, is it is a neutral bridge asset. So it's not controlled by America, right? It's not controlled by any one country or entity. Open source, permissionless, decentralized. Neutral bridge asset between Russia's CBDC and China's CBDC and the euro and the US dollar, right? I don't care. All these countries can create their central bank digital currency. It increases the use case and utility of XRP when they do it. None of them are a competitor to XRP. None of them. I need to make a TikTok on that. No CBDC is a competitor to XRP. People just don't understand what XRP is for. And they come out, like the most recent one has been, oh, well, the yuan, the Chinese yuan is going to be the reserve currency of the world, blah, blah, blah. And I get where they're coming from. China's economy is doing really well right now. They've been stockpiling gold. They are ahead of the curve. They've already introduced their CBDC. They're ahead of the game. They're doing well. But like I said, you still need a neutral bridge asset. When these countries don't trust each other, when different banks and financial institutions don't trust each other, you have a neutral bridge asset like XRP that solves that issue. When you want to go from JPM coin to Goldman Sachs coin, they can use XRP as that bridge. No central bank digital currency is a competitor to XRP. I need to outline this for people. Spell it out. Like I said, there's so much misinformation about XRP in the community right now, as far as mostly TikTok. Mostly the TikTok kids spewing nonsense. But yeah, so much misinformation, and then you just have downright, outright disinformation, which is people intentionally misleading people about XRP. Misinformation is just people with bad info who want to spew whatever their narrative reality is. They just haven't done their research on XRP. Disinformation is people intentionally misleading. Let's take, for example, actually, I'm not even going to name these guys by name. There was recently a guy who came out and said that he knew for sure that XRP was going to zero because he was a Goldman Sachs boy and he knows everything before it happens. Well, after I called him out, he since deleted those posts. And if you look at the incentives behind these guys, it's very clear. He's against XRP because he can't push XRP with his trading bots. He sells trading bots, which he can't, that won't trade XRP. So that's the issue. He makes a video spreading XRP FUD and misinformation because he has a bot to sell you and he has a Discord to sell you that's $200 a month. So you got to be careful who you listen to right now. If XRP isn't meant for us, how is it available for US to buy and how will they allow us to sell? They had to test the network. They had to prove the concept. So that's why it was allowed to be bought and out here on the open markets. Ripple, they needed people to trial this network and build out the ecosystem, right? Build out the nodes. That's why. This guy says, I mine ETH and get paid in XRP. And yeah, it's profitable till ETH 2. And that's cool. I like that. Mining ETH and then moving it to XRP. I like that. Matty G was fun to listen to on XRP, but he sold it all for XRPL shitcoins. Really? That's funny. I haven't listened to Matty G in a while. Bot boys. Yeah, these guys, they're selling you bots. They're selling you their courses. And that's why they spread XRP FUD. The other thing is that Ripple will never pay these guys. So they can't make any money off of it. Why is Uphold the only exchange with XRP? Well, you have Qcoin and you have Bitrue as well. So if you're looking to get XRP, you have Qcoin, Bitrue, and I think there's a couple others, but yeah, those are the main ones. Uphold, Qcoin, Bitrue. Can I talk about Flare and XRP? Flare is going to be massive. I think it's a major, major sleeper for DeFi. It's going to bring smart contracts to the XRP ledger. It's going to unlock utility and value for other blockchains as well. Even Dogecoin is going to be on the Flare network. So their whole motto is unlocking value, and they're doing that because they're bringing smart contracts to projects that don't have smart contract capabilities, like XRP, which kind of a side note, unnecessary fact, but XRP hooks are a version of smart contracts. So there actually is smart contracts kind of built into the XRP ledger. It's just not as easy to use as Ethereum. But yeah, when Flare comes, it's going to be massive. It's been stalled out, and I believe that that's because of the lawsuit. Once the lawsuit gets settled, I believe that we'll see some action there. One question, bro. What do you think February and March about the market? Well, I'm hoping that we catch a pump. The Ripple versus SEC lawsuit is going to be the main catalyst that could really push this thing up. Other than that, I think that we are going into a bear market by February, March, by the end of February, March. Yeah. So look, the markets have kind of recovered again. Let me pull up my charts. Actually, let's go back to here. Thoughts on Quant? I am a fan. Have I been using my Songbird to earn SFIN? I don't have my Songbird yet. I had all of my XRP on Coinbase at the time of the snapshot for Flare. So Coinbase has not distributed any Songbird, unfortunately. Okay, XRP back up to 75 cents. I want it to reclaim 76 at least, but seeing Bitcoin claim 42, that's good to see. Let me refresh this and make sure my computer's lagging right now. What will XRP go to in a bear market? Depends on how high it goes during this bull market. If we are still in a bull market, 50 to 90% correction from wherever it tops out at. Unless the case gets settled or the case ends. Once the case ends, all bets are off. Utility gets unlocked, and we're going to rip. We're going to rip. Okay, so we have corrected back down to 41.8. We need Bitcoin to, God, it has to hold 40K. I'd like to see it get back above 42 though. So we'll see what happens here. I think that we could start to recover and catch a little bit of a pump potentially over the next 24, 48 hours with this congressional hearing. Okay, we got XRP at 74. Okay. Will they have to burn some XRP? No, they just have to start using it. They don't need to burn any. And we have another super chat. Nicole, huge shout out to Nicole coming in with the 5 spot. Appreciate that. If there is an SEC Ripple settlement, what do you think that would look like? I think it's going to be a fine for Ripple. I think that Ripple's going to say, hey, come slap us on the wrist with 5 mil, 10 mil, even more. I mean, even John Deaton said that, you could see a $20 million fine for Ripple, but that's nothing for them. So that's what I think it looks like. I think it looks like a fine for Ripple. I feel like they're going to have a harder time going against Brad or Chris, but maybe they can get them on something there. I feel like they're going to have a better chance of getting Ripple though. But it's basically just going to be a small fine, relatively small fine, 5, 10, 20 million. And it's going to be clarity for XRP. Because Ripple says they just want clarity for XRP. If they go back on them, they say, hey, when you put it on exchanges and it was listed as Ripple instead of XRP, that misled investors into thinking that they were investing in Ripple, and you caused $10 million worth of damages, or we're going to hit you for $10 million. And Ripple will say, okay, thank you very much, cut the check. Utility is going to be kicking in over the next year, and it'll be paid back in no time, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at, Nicole. Good question. I'm super excited to hear Will talk to John Deaton. That's going to be a good interview. Good interview. Because what I'm wondering is if there's going to be any damages that the XRP holders are going to be able to claim against the SEC. No settlement without clarity. Yep, that is what Ripple's saying. Appreciate all the gifts on TikTok, the super chats on YouTube. Appreciate that. That helps me find your guys' questions. You guys comment so quick these days. Appreciate you guys. If you guys could hit that thumbs up for me, I'd really appreciate that too. And we have the big man here, Wave Walker, coming in. True soldier in Christ God's speed, my man, with a 10 spot. Says, Zach, the man, tell me in your own words why people say Quant is a possible XRP killer. Its max supply is 14.6 million. How is that mathematically possible to achieve as a world bridge asset? Great question. Great question. The thing is, Quant's a different use case. It's about tying blockchains together that don't have interoperability. So Quant is the bridge between different blockchains, right? It's not necessarily a bridge currency. It's a bridge between different blockchains. It's kind of similar, but definitely not an XRP killer. Different use case, but great question. People get confused, and people are so anxious to come up with an XRP killer. But Quant's a different use case. What it does is it ties together blockchains that don't have interoperability. Quant is that bridge. The tokenomics on Quant are good. I will say that. And I am bullish on Quant. But people want to, oh, this is the XRP killer. It's the typical BS that we keep on hearing. Another 5 spot coming in from Electro Pulsed. Appreciate that, man. 5 spot. Thank you, Zach. One question. Why do they need to use XRP and don't just build a new product with the tech and experience they have? Well, as I've stated, JP Morgan can create a coin. Goldman Sachs can create a coin. US CBDC, Euro dollar, China dollar, right? Every corporation can create their own coin. We can have Amazon create their own token. You need a bridge currency. And kind of similar to Quant too. You need interoperability between blockchains and different payment networks and different countries and different corporations and businesses, right? So that's why they're trying to copy the tech and come up with their own solutions. The one thing that Ripple has going for it is that it's already building out the network. 400 banks and financial institutions already partnered with Ripple. So they're already ahead of the game. Once XRP has clarity, instead of 75% of RippleNet clients not using XRP, you're going to see the rest of those clients with Ripple start to use XRP once they have clarity. So I hope that answered your question on why they won't just copy XRP. And even if they do copy XRP, you still have to trust JP Morgan if you want to trade with JPM coin. You still have to trust the United States if you want to accept their central bank digital currency. And as you're seeing right now on the world stage, we have Russia, China, all these countries ditching the US dollar. Russia ready to ditch SWIFT. That only increases the use case, the utility of XRP, the need for XRP. Because you can have two parties that completely hate each other, that are at war with each other, but they have a neutral bridge asset that settles in 3 seconds and costs nothing to send that transaction that they can use. That is the power of XRP. Yeah, appreciate your answer. Thank you very much. You bet. Electropulse, appreciate that. Appreciate the super chats, guys. Thank you. We have 10 years of proof that XRP... Exactly, yeah. You already have a proof of concept that's 10 years. You already have 400 banks and financial institutions. If SWIFT adopts XRP, that immediately onboards 11,000 banks and financial institutions. I talked about today, the clearinghouse. Guys, this is crazy. We all know that SWIFT has a daily volume of $5 trillion, 11,000 banks and financial institutions in SWIFT's network. I made a video today on ISO 200, and why it's important. Well, there's another little group called the Clearinghouse, which is the only privately owned and operated ACH wire operator in the United States. So all your ACH payments in the US, between the banks in the US, they do $2 trillion daily, and they're adopting ISO. Doesn't mean that necessarily it's all going to run on XRP. The point is, it's going to be ISO blockchains that run these networks. It's not going to be other ones that aren't ISO compliant. So does ISO get overhyped? Yes. However, if the project is ISO, it increases the chances of it getting adopted by banks, financial institutions, payment networks like SWIFT that move $5 trillion daily, payment networks like the Clearinghouse, which settles $2 trillion daily just in the United States. Then I talked about, so there was 3 payment networks that I talked about that are all adopting ISO. SWIFT, the Clearinghouse, and then you have FedNow, which is the instant payment settlement solution for payments that are under $25,000. And that's just in the United States. And that's going to be over, what was the number? Over 10,000. Over 10,000 banks and financial institutions in the United States are part of the FedNow payment service. So obviously that's going to be smaller payment flows because it's only payments that are less than $25,000. But there's over 10,000 banks and financial institutions just in America that are part of FedNow. Then we step up to the Clearinghouse. That's going to be all of the banks in America settling with each other. They have over 1,000 members that are part of the Clearinghouse, and they settle $2 trillion daily. Then we step up to the world stage, where we have 11,000 banks and financial institutions that are part of SWIFT's network, settling $5 trillion daily. I couldn't come up or find any numbers on how much the FedNow payments network settles daily, but SWIFT does 5, and we know that the Clearinghouse does 2 trillion. So we have over $7 trillion plus add on whatever FedNow services are. We have literally over $7 trillion that's going to be settling on ISO compliant blockchains. Whether that's XRP, Quant, XLM, Algorand, USDC is also ISO compliant. Did Josh reply? No, he didn't. No. Nope. Wasn't expecting him to. And, guys, I'm going to be honest. I can't spend any more time on these clowns. I will not be addressing them. If you guys can do your part to hold them accountable, please do so. A lot of scammers, a lot of bad actors in this space. Unfortunately, in my position, I will get shadow banned. I will get taken off of TikTok. I will get taken off of YouTube if I continue to apply pressure to these scammers and these bad actors. That's unfortunately how it works, and I cannot risk losing my platform. But I encourage you guys to apply pressure and hold these guys accountable. It's up to you to hold these guys accountable. Why is the SEC not giving up? Well, it's all a stage. This is the most staged lawsuit in the history of the SEC. How is November 2022 going to be different from November 2023? Well, I think where that comes in, people are kind of getting confused on that, which thank you for asking that question, Johnny. Swift is updating to ISO in November of 2022, and then I believe it's the Fed, I think it's the Federal Reserve, or the Fed Pay Now, is updating to ISO in November of 2023. So that's the distinction. But basically, over the next couple years, the whole financial system is going to be updated. It's all going to be on ISO, at least these main payment rails that I'm talking about. If Russia ditches SWIFT, that's totally possible. It's probably likely. If China does, that's very likely. I don't even think that China is on SWIFT now. Maybe they are. But regardless, guys, they're going to have to be running on other cryptos then. But that doesn't mean that they still won't use XRP, XLM, Algorand, and these coins that are ISO compliant. It just means that they don't care about ISO. They don't care about SWIFT. But ISO isn't the end-all be-all. Just because a coin's ISO doesn't mean that it's for sure going to be chosen and used by all these banks and financial institutions. It does give them a much better chance. Sabina on the backup. Sabina, did your original account get taken out? How does the transaction speed affect the token value of XRP or others? Good question, Chris. Basically, it does get kind of overhyped. Visa, I believe, is already at 20,000. Or no, what are they at? Visa's at 2,000 transactions per second, but they're capable of 20,000. XRP is doing 1,500, but it's capable of 50,000. And they're actually saying that on the private central bank digital currency ledger, the private ledger for central banks that Ripple's building out, that they'll be able to do hundreds of thousands of transactions per second. But transactions per second isn't the end-all be-all either. Like I just stated, Visa's at 2,000 transactions per second, and that is operating just fine. That's sufficient. So we don't need to be at 1 million transactions per second to be running the new financial system. It definitely helps, though. You guys are funny in the chat. I appreciate you guys for coming in today. Thank you. XRP isn't going up. It's basically a stable coin, and it's reflective of the true value of the dollar. XRP is a scam. Okay, yeah. So XRP, a scam guy, you can probably just get lost and have fun holding your little meaningless coins that are doing absolutely nothing, solve no problems, have no real utility, and have a good life. The person that said, it seems like you're just confused. XRP isn't going up because it's basically a stable coin and it's reflective of the true value of the dollar. I would encourage you to follow this channel. Go watch some of my previous content and you'll get caught up to speed on what XRP is for, the utility that it offers, the problems that it solves, the partnerships that Ripple has, and you'll get to see the truth about XRP. Because if that's your current understanding, you are misled. I don't know where you're finding that information. Well, I do. It's just the memes and the jokesters here on TikTok. But like I say, you got to get your game up. Shoot me a follow. Go back and watch my old content. Get caught up to speed on what's actually happening. Come to where we're having the mature conversation about what crypto is going to run the new financial system, about how to prepare for the greatest transfer of wealth in world history, about how to tie it all together with the current events that are currently happening. That's what we're doing here. We don't do memes and BS and playing around with the kids here on TikTok. We get straight to the truth, and we're going to give you actionable advice, right? That's what we're doing here. I think that was a good rant to end on, even though we're running up in the chat. I appreciate all of you guys. I think I'm going to end it on that rant. That was a good one. You guys need to get your game up if you're on that BS. Please, for the sake of the space, get your game up. Be a little bit more mature than shit posting about XRP, okay? I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. God bless all of you. We will see you in the next one. I'm going to be dropping some more videos here later today. Got some work to take care of, but yeah, check out some more content. We just hit 16,000 subscribers on YouTube. Huge shout out to the YouTube gang. Going to be getting a camera going so that we can do, you'll be able to see my face during the live streams here soon. Super excited for this year, guys. It's going to be a good year. Appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much. If you guys are trying to get into our Discord group, sign up for the Patreon. It's linked up in the description of the video. It's linked up in my bio on TikTok. Okay? Join the Patreon. We'll send you a link to the Discord group. Come on in. We'll get you caught up to speed. Or if you just want to be in a group of like-minded individuals who are over the target and preparing for the greatest transfer of wealth in world history, that is what we're doing in there. Tomorrow we have an exclusive interview with an insider on 5G. I can't say, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? 5G. I can't say what it is, but you guys know. We're talking about frequencies, the vibe. We're going to do a vibe check tomorrow. We got an insider. This guy, he's a vice president of a company that actually is installing this technology, actually using this technology. We're going to get the lowdown from him, but that's going to be in the Discord. We can't have this conversation on YouTube or TikTok, and that's exactly why we got the Discord. But I'm super excited to talk to my boy James. He is an expert in the field, really doing the thing. So we're going to get the lowdown. Should we be freaking out and running for the hills, turning off our phones and all frequencies around us? Or are our fears irrational? We'll see. We'll see. I'm super excited for that conversation though. But yeah, if you guys want to hop in the group, it is linked up in the description. We also have the merchandise available. If you're looking for a solid cold storage wallet, we have the LiPal Titan is our recommended wallet. If you're looking for a wallet, the LiPal Titan cold storage wallet is what we recommend. I have that linked up as well. I appreciate all of you guys. Have I tried to have Coach JV on? Funny you would mention that. That interview is in the works. We will be speaking with Coach JV here soon, over the next week or two. That should be lined up. He's a busy man. He might be a few weeks out. But yeah, we're going to be interviewing Coach JV here soon. Super excited for that one. Appreciate all the gifts, guys. Appreciate all the super chats. Huge shout out. Who all gave us? Where are our super chats at tonight? Let's run through our super chats again. Give them one more shout out. Electro Post, True Soldier in Christ Godspeed. That's Wave Walker on TikTok. You already know. One of the OG members of this community with the 10 spot, dropping it. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. We have Nicole, one of our moderators in the Discord. Huge shout out to Nicole. 5 spot. Appreciate that. Just Saying came in with a fat 20 spot. Huge shout out, man. Thank you. That's awesome. TikTok, I know you guys have been sending some gifts too, so I appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I think I'm missing a couple super chats, but you guys know the deal. Appreciate all of you guys. We're going to keep on bringing you the content that matters, tying together cryptocurrency, current events, and the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. Appreciate all of you guys. We will see you in the next one. Take care. God bless. I'm out of here. Thank you. Link to my Discord. Yep, it's linked up in my TikTok bio. Just sign up for the Patreon and I'll send you the link to the Discord.